In the dead of night, this old man secretly raids a burial tomb in an attempt to unearth a powerful sorcery. As he drops a concoction into the tomb, the place suddenly explodes, throwing him several feet away. However, this misfortune leads him to discover the sorcery, so he drives away happily with his newfound powers. The scene then shifts to Kelly, a high school student, purchasing an item from a store. While leaving, he bumps into Dominique, a classmate who happily greets him. But as soon as he walks away, her friend criticizes her for being nice to him. However, she responds that he was her first friend when she moved into the neighborhood 10 years ago.
He was the only one nice to me when I first moved here.
That was like 10 years ago.
Outside, as Kelly consumes the item's packaging, a group of boys approach him and begin to bully him for eating an inedible item. As they rain curses on him, Dominique interrupts them in an attempt to rescue Kelly.
Hey! Leave him alone! You guys are such jerks!
But this makes things worse. The bullies throw Kelly into a dumpster while recording and making fun of him. Dominique tries to help again, but they snatch her drink and pour it on Kelly. Suddenly, the store owner appears and sends the bullies away.
Get the hell out of here!
Dominique offers to give him a ride to school, but her friend refuses to let him into the car.
Do you want a ride?
My dad would kill me if we get slime on the seats.
So Kelly has to change into a new shirt before going to class. Kelly suffers from pika, an eating disorder that makes him eat inedible items. Seeing his health in a bad state, a doctor prescribes that he take iron pills daily, but secretly advises his mother to seek psychological help.
I don't see this as a dietary issue. I think it's psychological.
Meanwhile, the old man from earlier introduces himself as Reverend Fluger to a crowd of people and tries to convince them of his supernatural ability to heal any kind of illness.
Reverend Fluger is my name. With these hands, I can take away anything that ails you.
While speaking to the crowd, a disabled woman steps forward and donates to his cause. So, in the presence of everyone, he heals her leg, making her walk again.
I have no more pain.
Unknown to him, Kelly's mother watches this from afar. After the crowd disperses, she approaches Fluger and tells him about her son's disorder. So, he decides to follow her home. As she leaves to get her car, a mysterious man named Red Elk approaches Fluger to inquire about his supernatural ability. But Fluger lies that he had gotten the powers from God.
How is it that you can heal? God.
Upon hearing this, Red Elk offers a way to eliminate the power, but Fluger immediately rejects this offer.
Let go of the medicine. Why would I ever do that?
Suddenly, Red Elk slaps him, but the slap backfires without hurting Fluger. So Red Elk explains that anyone with the power is incapable of getting hurt. He tries to convince Fluger to return the sacred powers to the tomb, but Fluger vehemently refuses. Later that day, Fluger visits Kelly's house to conduct healing on Kelly. But as soon as he touches the boy, he immediately experiences a spiritual attack. So he makes up an excuse to use the bathroom.
Before we get started yet, can I use your facilities?
After taking some drugs, he returns to continue the healing session, but as he touches Kelly again, he experiences another attack that kills him instantly. However, Kelly suddenly heals from his disorder and requests for food.
Mom, I'm hungry.
The next day, as Kelly repairs his bike for school, he suddenly hurts himself. But to his surprise, the wound heals instantly. He tries to explain this to his mother, but she finds it funny and doesn't believe him.
It healed, and it didn't even hurt.
What are you talking about?
On his way to school, he encounters Dominique, and she comments on how different he looks from the last time she saw him.
God, Kelly, last time I saw you, you were just skin and bones.
Immediately, she leaves. Reed, one of the bullies, sneaks from behind and throws a punch at Kelly for talking to Dominique. However, the pain from the punch backfires on him. He tries several times again to inflict pain on Kelly, but it continues to backfire, so he gets scared and runs away. Later that night, Reed's father visits to complain that Kelly had beaten his son.
Reed says that Kelly was there.
But Kelly's mother finds this hard to believe and rudely shuts him out.
Good night.
What?
Seeing this, Kelly confesses to his mother that the power from Fluger made it impossible for him to get hurt. To prove this, he tries to burn himself with a cigarette lighter, but nothing happens, leaving his mother shocked.
We've got to keep this between us.
However, she makes him promise to keep the power. a secret.
You can't draw any more attention to yourself. Promise me.
I promise.
The next day at school, Kelly sees Dominique's hair tie fall off, so he picks and nibbles on it before returning it to her.
Hey, Dom. You dropped your hair tie. I hate the tag.
However, he immediately realizes that eating a piece of Dominique's property enabled him to evade and control her thoughts. Later that night, at a school's bonfire, Kelly sees Dominique being harassed by bullies, so he goes to confront them. As the bullies gather around to beat him, they're stopped in time by the school's coach, so they angrily leave the event. But while driving home in speed, they see Kelly riding home on a bike, so they decide to run over him with their car. As soon as Brad, the driver, hits Kelly, he dies instantly, leaving the other bullies in shock. They get out of the car to call the ambulance, but are surprised to see Kelly unhurt, so they flee in fear. After a while, Dominique and her friend arrive at the scene and call the police. During questioning, the bullies lie that Kelly was riding a bike in the middle of the road, so their dead friend lost control while trying to avoid hitting Kelly. Meanwhile, Dominique and the mother advise Kelly against revealing the true details of the incident to the police, as the truth could expose his supernatural powers. So, Kelly agrees to lie about the incident. But regardless of this, the bullies do not give up on taking revenge on Kelly. After seeing him together with Dominique, they decide on a plan to take him down once and for all.
Have a plan. Tonight, Trash family begins their journey out of trailer town.
One day, while taking out trash after work, Kelly encounters Red Elk, who tries to talk to him about the supernatural powers. But Red Elk's sneaky behavior scares off Kelly. That night, as Kelly returns home, he finds his mother unwell, so he volunteers to drive her car to buy drugs. Unknown to him, the bullies are around the area waiting for the perfect opportunity to carry out their revenge plan. Once they see a car drive away from the house, they assume that no one's at home, so they immediately attach a strong chain to the cinder block at Kelly's mobile house, causing the building to shake and become unstable. This shake throws Kelly's mother off balance, and at the same time, it causes a gas leakage, which ultimately leads to an explosion that kills her. The bullies leave the area, unaware of the magnitude of their actions. Meanwhile, Kelly returns to see the house on fire and immediately storms into the burning building to rescue his mother. However, it's too late, and her body had been burnt to toast. Seeing this, Kelly breaks down in tears and is taken to the hospital. Captain Alder becomes worried about Kelly's mental health, so he arranges for Kelly to stay an extra day at the hospital.
Kelly doesn't have any next of kin. Can you keep him here for another night?
After ensuring that Kelly is settled for the night, the captain attempts to leave but gets stopped by Red Elk.
You remember me? I am Red Elk.
Who explains that Kelly is in possession of a great supernatural power that needs to be retrieved. Although the captain believes this, he feels hesitant about burdening Kelly with this news. After the burial of his mother, Kelly goes to visit Fluger's grave and chews on a plant growing on the grave, which causes him to become weak and throw up. Unknown to him, Sarah, who's Dominique's friend, witnesses this scene and runs away. Later that day, as Kelly drives home with Captain Alder, he learns that a strong shake to his house had led to the gas explosion.
Why?
Before the gas ignited, your trailer fell off its supports.
While trying to make sense of this, his bullies drive by and make fun of his misfortune, leading him to immediately suspect their involvement. Upon this realization, he jumps out of the captain's car and goes in search of the bullies. When he finds them having fun in a river, he secretly steals one of their clothes and takes a bite off it. After chewing the cloth, he gains control of one of the bullies' minds and is able to manipulate him into drowning.
One bully down. 3 to go.
He tries to hurt the other boys, but Captain Alder arrives in time, so he runs away. During questioning, the bullies express their suspicions about Kelly's power, but the cops find this hard to believe and insist they're involved in the death of their friend. That night, Kelly tells Dominique about his plan to kill the bullies for murdering his mother. But Dominique advises him against taking revenge and insists that he makes the bullies confess to their crime. So, the next day, during chemistry class, the teacher brings out an acid for practical. Suddenly, Kelly storms into the class and confronts the bullies, asking for a confession. Tony, of the bullies, refuses to confess. Instead, he picks up the acid and pours it on Kelly's face. But to everyone's surprise, the acid backfires and melts his face. Seeing this, Kelly turns to Nelson, another bully, and persuades him to confess.
You could have saved him, and now it's your turn.
But Captain Alder storms into the class to defuse the situation. So Kelly uses this opportunity to escape. Later that night, Sarah meets up with Nelson and reveals she had seen Kelly throwing up after chewing a plant from Fluger's grave. So that night, they set out to pick some plants from the grave. The next day, Red Elk and Captain Alder arrive at Fluger's grave to uproot the plants around the grave. Meanwhile, Nelson and Reed, the last remaining bullies, are at the school's field practicing baseball with their father. Captain Alder is also present to protect them from Kelly. While looking around the area, the captain finds a chain in the boot of the bully's car, so he begins to question them about it. Kelly uses this distraction to ruffle through their bags in search of clothing belonging to the bullies. Once he finds it, he immediately chews on it before confronting the bullies in the presence of their father and the captain. Seeing the situation, Reed runs away to save his life, but Nelson attempts to gas Kelly with the plant's concoction. Before he could do it, Kelly uses his manipulation powers to inflict deep injuries on Nelson. When the father tries to stop Kelly, Captain Alder intervenes and persuades Nelson to confess to his crimes. Dominique notices this situation from afar while taking a run, so she yells at Kelly to stop. Realizing that Kelly is distracted by Dominique's presence, Nelson uses the opportunity to gas Kelly with the plant's concoction. Kelly becomes weak from this, so the bully's father points a gun at his head in an attempt to kill him. But immediately he pulls the trigger. The bullet backfires and kills him. Seeing the situation escalate out of control, Dominique becomes angry and yells at Kelly for being vengeful. She begs him to end everything by returning the powers, so he agrees due to his love for her. That night, as they perform the ritual to return the powers, some cops arrive at the scene to interrupt them. At the same time, Kelly experiences a series of attacks due to the rituals. So Red Elk confesses that Kelly has become entwined with the powers and it can only be removed through death. Upon hearing this, Dominique tries to escape with Kelly, but the cops open gunfire at them, making them fall into Fluger's grave. Although Kelly survives the gunfire, he's heartbroken to see Dominique bleeding beside him. When she dies in his arms, he breaks down in tears and self-destructs. As the ambulance carries their dead body to the mortuary, Dominique suddenly rises from the dead and realizes that Kelly had transferred the powers to her.